turned down the big money to play college baseball in Miami. Line shot, bouncer through the glove of third baseman Mandy Serrano into left field. That'll be an error on the Seminole third baseman. The Seminoles have committed 3 errors in the game, 2 in the 5th and 1 here in the 6th. And with 1 out, a runner aboard, Chris Pierce, the designated hitter, due up.
Boy, Gene, you can really tell that Serrano's ankle is bothering him. He's normally a very sure-handed third baseman. He just can't really move on that ball. He saw it go right by him. He just couldn't get his body in front of the ball. It scooted right by him. 3 errors charged to Florida State, and could easily have been 4 had Perez not made that diving stop at first base on the throw by Serrano earlier.
Serrano leads the team in errors. That is his 8th of the season. The Hurricanes have a runner aboard for Chris Pierce, who was looking for his first hit tonight. Struck out back in the 2nd, hit a fly ball to center field in the 4th. The 1-0 is outside, ball 2. The Hurricane run in the 5th inning unearned. A couple of Florida State errors after Miranda led off with a single. Produced the run. There could have been more damage, but a nifty double play turned by the Seminole infielder, a race 2. The 2-0 in there for a call strike. Pierce taking all the way. I don't know if that was by design or not, as he sort of steps out of the batter's box with a look of disgust, saying, why did I let that one go by? It was right down the chute, and the count is 2-1. To the belt, Bailey, pickoff try, Johnson back in time. Bailey now with a 2-1 offering on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 2. And it's 2-2 on the Hurricane DH. You see the Hurricane hitter, Chris Pierce, a freshman out of Southridge High School in Miami. The 2-2 and a notion held back when the pitch was out of the strike zone. It's a full count. Roger Bailey's last outing, a complete game, 4-2 victory. The top 25 ranked South Carolina. That was a week ago tonight. Shakes off his side. Now he's ready. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Boy, Pierce didn't like it. Barely does. He nicked the outside corner about belt high. And there are 2 down for the Hurricanes, and Greg Coleman, the Cane left fielder, stands in.
Well, Pierce is beefing the call, as you can see, but I don't know how anybody can let that pitch go by with 2 strikes on him. That pitch was right on the corner of the plate. No beef there.
So Bailey with a 3-2 pitch that was a picture of perfection. Swinging around to bunt is Anderson. Lays it down. Bailey off the mound in a hurry. The throw to first. Bang, bang. They got it. And that'll do it for the Hurricanes. Here in the 6th, the runner aboard thanks to an error on third baseman Mandy Serrano, but that's it. A couple of strikeouts and then a nice throw to first to get the base runner Greg Coleman on the bunt try. It's 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
In the top of the 6th for
Mizuno Performance Products helps bring NCAA baseball into homes across America. Mizuno equipment, footwear, and apparel are used by more than 200 major leaguers. Mizuno.
Prime Network. All sports for all seasons.
You got the right one, baby.
You got the right one, baby. Uh-huh.
You got the right thing. You got the right one.
Baby, you got the right one.
There's only one right one, baby. You got the right one, baby.
Think you can sing our song? Send your videotape performance and you could win $10,000 and appear in a Diet Pepsi commercial.
Back on time for one more bite, right?
Claim your 5.
5-1, Florida State leading over Miami. The Seminoles have out-hit the Hurricanes 11-5. And the shaky defense by Florida State has not been costly, as they lead it 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the sixth. The Miami Batgirls have made the trip up, looking a little glum right now, but their ball club still has 4 more opportunities to get some runs across the plate.
Well, they're nicknamed the Sugar Canes. You know, Batgirls were an innovation of Ron Fraser, the Wizard of college baseball, the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes. Also, how about the Miami Maniac, the first, I believe, the first mascot of the college baseball game.
Miami Maniac, I don't believe, made the trip here. He's not here in the ballpark.
We're watching a scene of the Miami Maniac in a rowboat last year during the Atlantic Regional. There you see the Wizard, Ron Fraser. Tomorrow on the campus of Florida State, they're inducting the most recent enshrinees into the Florida State Sports Hall of Fame. Ron Fraser among that group. Was inducted earlier in the 1980s. Played his baseball at FSU back in the late 50s. Alan Beavis leading off the Seminole sixth. He was at the plate when Mark Dunbar was caught trying to steal. Tried to steal behind the back of pitcher Shawn Purdy. The 0-1 pitch was sliced foul and through the grandstands. That made contact with nothing.
You know, Gene, Ron Fraser played on the same ball club here with Dick Hauser back in the late 50s, and also another guy on that team was a guy by the name of Tony Abitable, who held for many years the all-time collegiate record for strikeouts in a game. He struck out 24 batters in a single ball game.
The 0-2 to Beavis, off the glove of Purdy, behind the bag and short. The throw is in time to get the speedy Alan Beavis. Nice play by shortstop Chris Anderson. Ball just ricocheted off the glove of Purdy, the pitcher. It slowed it down enough for Anderson to come over and make a nice play. 1 down for the Seminoles.
Well, you score this one 1-6-3 because Purdy got a glove on it, slowed it down just enough for Anderson to come over and make the play. They finally got Beavis out. He had 6 hits in his last 8 at-bats against Miami. He's now 6 for his last 9.
He had collected 3 tonight. Nandy Serrano stands in. Right-handed swinging Seminole third baseman. Looks at a breaking pitch, and the slider got the inside corner for a call, strike 1. Batter number 2 on the Seminole order. As he faces Purdy, and he lines one into right for a base hit. Hernandez over to get it on the third hop, and Serrano limping to first base with that protector on his ankle. He is really hurting. You wonder if he's going to be able to play the entire ball game. There you see him take the protector off. Nandy Serrano.
Gene, that is the 12th hit for Florida State in the game. That is the most hits given up by Purdy in any ball game this year.
Eduardo Perez. Well, Eduardo Perez, who has had a great night in the field for the Seminoles, is 1 for 3 off Shawn Purdy. With a runner at first base, Perez will step out of the batter's box and now dig back in. Got a single and drove in a run on the first, struck out in the second, and hit into a fielder's choice. Chopper toward short, could be 2. The relay by Tozar in time, and the Canes turn their 53rd double play of the season. And just like that, a 1-2-3 inning, the easiest so far for Shawn Purdy and the Miami Hurricanes. We have completed 6 at Hauser Stadium. The Seminoles of Florida State lead Miami's Hurricanes 5-1.
Virtual baseball's changing. It's a business.
A baseball scout, the last of his kind, has made the discovery of his career.
How good is my son?
He's the best I've ever seen.
Now he must make the choice of a lifetime.
Saturday's too quick to pitch this kid.
Am I ready?
You're one hell of a pitcher.
Edward James Olmos, Talent for the Game, rated PG. Starts Friday, April 26th at select theaters.
It's your tires ain't pretty, man. You know, I've been doing these things for a long time, these commercials. I'm starting to take vitamins. You got to take vitamins so you be invigorated, so you be able to know all this stuff. And remember, the main thing is for my memory. I take aluminum. I'm telling all you folks out there, you take aluminum, it'll help your memory. You know, it's good. Anyhow, we sell tires cheaper than anybody in Florida. We sell them 5% cheaper than anybody in Florida. You come to, what's the name of that place?
Allied Discount Tires.
Prime Network presents college baseball from Dick Howser Stadium. Florida State and Miami on a perfect night for baseball in the state capital of Florida. And we head to the 7th inning with the Seminoles of Florida State ranked 2nd in the nation, leading the 3rd-ranked Miami Hurricanes by a score of 5-1.
Alex Miranda will lead off for the Hurricanes in the top of the 7th inning. Got a base hit in the 5th and has scored the only Cane run tonight. And the first offering from Roger Bailey is down and away, ball 1. Bailey has struck out 7. He has not walked a batter. And yet another strong outing for the sophomore from nearby Chattahoochee, Florida. The pitch had a notion, did not go around. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Bailey's got a fastball that's been timed in the 84 to 85 mile-an-hour range. An excellent slider. And his best pitch, perhaps, is changeup. There's a line shot towards center. Mueller's got it measured and makes the catch. Miranda hit it well, but right at Mueller in center field, 1 away.
Miami shortstop Chris Anderson.
Mueller only a sophomore, and what a job he's done in center field. Nobody thought anybody could fill the shoes of Mark Ronan, who played center field for a couple of years, was an all-star performer for FSU. Although Ronan's bat perhaps a tad tougher than Mueller's, Mueller is getting the job done defensively in the outfield. 1 away for Chris Anderson. Anderson, the Miami Hurricane shortstop, looks at a fastball that's in there for a ball strike. Bailey not wasting a lot of time between pitches. This game has moved along rapidly. Hurricanes have had trouble coming behind, although the last couple of weeks they've done so.
Hey, they scored 4 in the 9th, in the bottom of the 9th, to beat the University of North Florida earlier this week. A game played Tuesday night down at Barclay Stadium.
They were down 7-1 early and came back to score 4 runs in the 9th inning to beat the top-ranked NAIA team in the country, North Florida, the Ospreys.
The Ospreys.
2 balls and a strike the count to Chris Anderson. Anderson looking for his first base hit. Got on base with an error back in the 5th, in which the Seminoles committed a couple of miscues. Bailey out of the windup. Here's the 2-1. Chopper foul. And back to the screen.
University of North Florida's put together a good program over there. There's a lot of great programs in the state. Dusty Rhodes does a fine job coaching the Ospreys.
I think I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Anderson had sat out last year. He played last year. His redshirt year was 1989. Started thinking about the Hurricane shortstop. He had surgery last year. A vein in his arm had to be repaired, patched up, and he missed 10 games. But that was not his redshirt season. He faces a full count offering here from Roger Bailey at the top of the 7th inning. Florida State up 5-1 over the 3rd-ranked Hurricanes. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Downstairs, ball 4. And Bailey surrenders his first walk of the night. Anderson aboard with 1 away. Bailey struck out 7. Now he's walked 1. And Luis Hernandez stands in. Well, this kid's a tough strike zone. 5 foot 5 inches tall, a freshman out of Miami Columbus High School. He is 0 for 2. Got on base with the 2nd successive error charged to the Seminoles in that 5th inning rally that produced the only run so far for the Hurricanes. Hernandez, not a power hitter. No home runs, just a couple of doubles. but among the speediest. Squares around and tries to bunt. Fouls it back to the screen. Serrano, you caught out of the left corner of the screen there, limping as he tried to charge on that bunt effort by Hernandez. Neither team has made a change in the lineup so far in the 7th inning. Both teams have strong benches. Ron Frazier going with a lot of left-handed bats in tonight's first game of this 3-game series. Here's the 0-1. Runner left to steal effort. Now hurries back to the bag as Grifol stares him down. Anderson took about a 10-step jump towards second. And Grifol just sort of eyeballed him back to the bag at first. 0-2 the count to Hernandez. Pitch breaks down and away. Bailey wastes one, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes down. Well, take a look at Hernandez, and he's standing, well, not completely straight up. He's in sort of a crouch in the batter's box. But Grifol's headgear is almost as tall as he is in the box. Bailey ready with a 1-2. Inside, 2-2. Good pitch, but it just missed.
I think Bailey really wanted that pitch, Gene. He thought he had him struck out, but it just missed.
Complete game performance, the 4-2 victory over South Carolina. Bailey's 6th. He struck out 6 batters. He's already fanned. Here's a chopper. That'll be tough for somebody. Serrano limps, hurries, throws. Now he got it. Perez got his foot on the bag. And Serrano limping very obviously, and there's going to be an argument by Ron Frazier.
Well, Al Davis, Gene, has called him right all night. We're going to get a chance to take a look, I believe, at this play. As Serrano came all the way across the infield behind the mound. He's the last guy on the field you thought would be able to make that play. And Ron Frazier came over from the third base box to get into it with Al Davis.
Well, the argument is over, and we'll watch it again. Very close place at first. Perez did a masterful job of getting that foot on the bag. Didn't you? Watch this. I don't know if you're going to see it that well from that angle. That angle, it looked like Hernandez had beaten the throw. Let's watch it again from upstairs. You see Serrano limping. The throw. That's close.
That's a very close play. That's one of those bang-bang plays.
2 down now for the Hurricanes in the top half of the 7th inning. On the throw to first, Anderson gets to second.
I'll tell you what, Gene, there's been some tough calls in this ball game. And a couple of them, even on 2 or 3 replays, we've had a hard time determining safer out. What do you think it must be like down there calling it on the spot, huh?
Well, it was close enough that Ron Frazier wanted to go over and have a few words with Al Davis. And he's back at the third base box now. Not a happy skipper. His team is down 5-1. They get a runner in scoring position, though, for Gino Damari. Damari bunts it back toward the mound. Bailey, the throw to first. And Damari is caught by a step ahead. That'll do it for the Hurricanes in the 7th inning. A runner left, no hits, no runs, no similar errors. We go to the bottom of the stretch. 7th, it's 5-1.
For years, I've done some wild things in our commercials to let you know you'll always get the guaranteed best prices on Michelin tires at Tire Kingdom. You'll also find one of the biggest selections of long mileage Michelin tires anywhere, backed by Tire Kingdom's exclusive mileage guarantees. And at Tire Kingdom, you'll get the fastest service in town. We'll install your Michelin tires in 45 minutes or less, guaranteed. So for the best prices, great selection, guaranteed mileage, and the fastest service anywhere, come to Tire Kingdom.
You got the right one, baby.
You got the right one, baby. Uh-huh. You got the right thing.
You got the right one.
Baby, you got the right one.
There's only one right one, baby. You got the right one, baby.
Think you can sing our song? Send your videotape performance and you could win $10,000 and appear in a Diet Pepsi commercial.
Florida State leads Miami 5-1 in this ball game as we have the 7th inning stretch here. at Dickhauser Stadium. This 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Mizuno. Performance footwear, equipment, and apparel. Mizuno, state-of-the-art technology in baseball and softball. We're talking baseball here tonight, though, Gene, as Florida State's got a 5-1 lead going into this 7th inning stretch. Bottom of the 7th coming up. It's been a ball game in which Florida State has been in control most of the way.
Neither coach or skipper has made a change yet in his lineups. They're going with the ones that started the ball game. Shawn Purdy has been nicked pretty good. 12 base hits by the Seminoles. It's a 5-1 ball game, but Ron Frazier's sticking with his right-hander.
And I look for maybe some bullpen action from both teams pretty soon, although Roger Bailey's got things under control right now. Ricky Kimball is in that Florida State bullpen if needed here in the late innings.
Take away the first 2 frames when the Seminoles produce 4 runs. We've got a 1-1 ball game here, and that's what you expect when Florida State and Miami tangle, particularly when these two teams are playing for what could be the #1 ranking in the country. Florida State ranked #2, Miami ranked #3 coming into this 3-game series this weekend. Shawn Purdy still on the hill for the Hurricanes. And his first pitch to Pedro Grifol is in there for a call strike. It looked like Grifol was trying to bunt his way on to lead off the Seminole 7th. Pedro tonight is 2 for 3. Got a pair of base hits in the first and the third, and then lined out in the 4th. Junior out of Miami Columbus High School. He's been a mainstay for the Seminoles behind the plate since coming to FSU. He supplanted it pretty good when Mark Ronan had been the Seminoles starting catcher the year before, and Ronan was scheduled to see most of the duty behind the plate, but Grifol came in as a freshman and took the job away. And he lines the 0-2 pitch out of play into the Hurricane bullpen area, where there is some activity right now. 5-1 the score. Florida State has out hit the Hurricanes 12-5. Grifol majoring in social work, trying to get a base hit here. The 0-2 line shot toward deep center. Damari on his horse is out of the track, and he'll make the catch. One away. Well, that got the crowd excited as Grifol got a hold of it, gave it a pretty good ride to center field. Damari's got good range on the pasture and had it flagged down near the warning track in deep center field. There you see Gino.
Boy, that's dead man's land out there in center field, though. If you're going to hit a ball a long way, you don't want to hit it in that direction because it's very deep. 405 feet out to straightaway center field. The power alley very deep out there. But the ballpark is very short, as you can see, to right field. 320 down the line and right, and it's only about 350 in the right center field power alley. So see a lot of home runs go out over there, but that's why they got the big screen.
Chris Roberts stands in. He's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly that drove in a Seminole run back in the first. And Purdy gets a breaking pitch in there for a call strike, and it's even at 1 ball and 1 strike. There have been some defensive changes by Coach Ron Frazier here on the 7th. We'll get to those in a moment as a breaking pitch sails away from the right-handed hitting Chris Roberts. George Fabregas has moved to first base. Anderson then, who started at short, moves to third base. Hernandez is at shortstop now. And Robinson has been inserted as the designated hitter. He will replace Alex Miranda there. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Roberts. In there for a call strike 3. And Roberts is gunned down on strikes. The second thrown by Purdy in tonight's game. He doesn't strike out many. But since getting roughed up in the first and the second, he has really settled down, and we've got some kind of ball game at Dickhauser Stadium. That pitch was knee-high, nicked the outside part of the plate for the call third strike. 2 away now for Ty Mueller. Mueller, a right-handed hitter, tries to bunt his way on. Nice bunt. It comes to a stop. Tough chance. It's in time. Purdy stuck with it. In a long stretch by Fabregas. Gets Ty Mueller just in time. A quick 1-2-3 frame for Purdy and the Canes. We've completed 7 innings at Hauser Stadium. It's still 5-1 FSU.
Prime Network. All sports for all seasons.
Hey, skiers. Listen to this. Now there's a skiers network that will give you up-to-the-minute skiing conditions at the hottest ski areas in the country. All the skiing information and conditions from the major ski areas like Snowbird, Vail, Mammoth, Park City, Breckenridge, and Killington. We've got them all. We can arrange everything for you. We can book your air and ground transportation. We can arrange for a lodge, condo, motel, or hotel. We can help with lift tickets. We've done all the work so that you don't have to. Ski America is the first and foremost skiers network. We'll provide information on great spring skiing from Colorado, Oregon, Utah, California, New Mexico, and the East. Whether it's for a couple, for a quick getaway, or your whole family, or a larger group, we're ready to take care of you. Dial 1-900-860-1900. Get started on your ski vacation now. Remember the number, 1-900-860-1900. Call now. We'll see you at the lift.
It's pro football, World League style, and there's only one place to keep pace with all the action. This week in the World League, Thursdays at 5:30 Eastern on Prime Network. Available on most Prime Network affiliates.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Paramount Pictures. Latest release, Talent for the Game. Opening April 26th at selected theaters, rated PG. Florida State leads the third-ranked Miami Hurricanes 5-1 as we move to the top of the 8th inning. It's been a good baseball game, the first of 3 in a row here in Tallahassee over this big baseball weekend at the state capitol. Mike Tozar will lead off for the Hurricanes here in the 8th. He'll be followed by George Fabregas and then cleanup hitting Charles Johnson. And to take you the rest of the way, here's Wayne Hogan.
All right, Gene, thank you very much. Florida State trying to hold on to this 4-run lead. As we mentioned a minute ago, the Seminole bullpen will be ready to roll if Roger Bailey gets in any trouble here in the last couple of innings. He has really pitched a masterful ball game. He has not gotten the greatest of support from his teammates. They've made 3 errors behind him, but he has managed to pitch his way out of a lot of tough spots. The Hurricanes have left runners on in every inning but the second. Tozar at the plate, and he is a guy who has got to feel like he doesn't like to face Florida State. He's got a lifetime batting average against the Seminoles of 167 as he stands in, and he's 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of strikeouts and a ground out to third. Two balls and a strike to Mike Tozar. Fabregas is due up next, and then Charles Johnson. This is a very big inning for Roger Bailey because the Hurricanes will send up really the meat of the order. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters at least to come to the plate in the 8th inning. That's going to be out of play down into the bleacher seats.
Well, Wayne, you mentioned very quickly 2 strikeouts and a ground out to third base. And sort of matter of factly, like it was a routine 5-3 put-up. Remember the play that Serrano made to knock it down? Then to get up and throw all the way across. He threw it wide of the bag at first, and Eduardo Perez did a tremendous job of preventing an error and still tagging the bag to get Tozar. He must feel snake bit tonight.
You saw that shot of Nandy Serrano. He takes the Purple Heart for playing in this game. He said that the night before last his ankle was swollen about twice its normal size after being hit by a pitch right on the ankle. You know that had to be painful. But he's in there tonight. Tozar fouls off the 3-2 pitch, out of play. Boy, the Hurricanes would love to get Tozar on there to lead things off here in the 8th. You know, in addition to the fact that Serrano has managed to play tonight, he's had a lot of tough plays he's had to make. Running across the infield, chasing pop fouls down the line. This one's lined towards left. Roberts running down toward the corner. He makes the play on the edge of the warning track.
We saw earlier tonight that Roberts has good speed. He laid down an infield base hit and beat it by a half a step, and that time he was open at the crack of the aluminum. Tozar went the opposite way and gave it a good ride, and Roberts on his horse flags it down near the line in left field. Boy, Roberts, that sophomore from Middleburg, made that look almost routine, didn't he?
One down and a very big out it was after a full count was attained.
Well, Tozier must be wondering what's it going to take to get a base hit in this ballpark tonight, huh?
Well, Fabregas is up there. He's had 2 hits in 3 trips. He's playing first base now, switched over from third in the last inning as Ron Fraser making some defensive changes. The only batting order swap has Donald Robinson, the new right fielder, batting in the 7 hole in place of Alex Miranda, first baseman. Miranda came out of the ball game. A ball and a strike to George Fabregas. We're going to pass along a tip of the hat to both Kenny Lee of Miami Sports Information Office and Donna Turner of Florida State. A packet of game notes from both schools that would rival anybody.
Kenny Lee doing double duty tonight, working the baseball radio side too, isn't he?
Yep, and we're having to do this game without the presence of our good friend Sonny Hirsch, who usually makes the trip to do radio for Miami.
He's being inducted into another Hall of Fame. Born on Christmas Day, I think he's in about 14 or 15 halls.
Oh, where Sonny is tonight. Probably watching the ball game.
You know, they're letting Kenny Lee and Joe Zagacki do the next game.
3 balls and a strike to Fabregas. Little looping line drive, but it's going to hold up long enough for Mueller to make the play. Boy, that ball was hit harder than it looked. And Mueller had enough time to get under it. It had some air under it. Mueller talking to Chris Roberts in left field.
He got a big smile on his face, too.
I think
you called it right. It looked like it was going to drop, but it just kept hanging and hanging. And Fabregas just didn't get it far enough away, and Mueller makes a nice play in left center field. 2 down now.
2 away for Charles Johnson. We're in the top of the 8th. Florida State 5 and Miami 1. Link Jarrett at shortstop. 3 up and 3 down in the 8th inning. Roger Bailey rolling along. We go to the bottom of the 8th. He's been staked to a 5-1 lead. Stay with us on Prime Network.
This your Allied Discount Tire Man. You know tires ain't pretty. They don't smell good, they don't taste good, and they don't make you feel no better. But you gotta buy tires. You go to Allied Discount Tires. They'll save you 5%, cheaper than any other tire company in Florida. The service is absolutely impeccable. We are committed to customer satisfaction. You go to Allied Discount Tire.
50 locations in Florida to serve you.
Florida State leads Miami 5-1 as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning at Hauser Stadium. The Seminoles have out hit the Canes 12-5. Played a battle between second-ranked FSU and third-ranked Miami. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Florida State will send Tony Leibsack, the designated hitter, Link Jarrett, Mark Dunbar, that's number 7, 8, 9 in the Seminole order, to face Shawn Purdy, who has settled down since having a rough couple of innings. The Seminoles scored a pair of runs in the first, a pair in the second, to take a quick 4-0 lead. Since then, he settled down. He gave up 7 hits in the first 2 frames. Since then, has given up just 5. Shawn Purdy. Now, those strikeouts don't represent Shawn Purdy strikeouts because Purdy doesn't strike out that many batters. Those are the strikeouts of Roger Bailey. If you add them up, it totals 7. The team earned run average by the Seminoles, 2.06 .92 opponents hitting against FSU pitching at .229. Tonight, the Hurricanes have touched Roger Bailey just .172% of the time. 12 base hits off the Hurricane starter. Shawn Purdy of the Seminoles have been hitting him all around the yard tonight. Garrett Blanton will be a pinch hitter, and he'll pinch hit for Tony Leibsack to lead off the Seminole 8th inning.
Well, Leibsack was 1 for 2, Gene. He scored a run. And a pretty good night's work for Tony, and now Garrett Blanton will hit in the bottom of the 8th. 5-1 Florida State. Seminoles have been pretty well in control. The Hurricanes really threatened in that one big inning in the 5th when they had the bases loaded and nobody out. That was really the turning point of this ball game, with Florida State leading 4-0 at the time. They had the bases loaded, top of the order coming up, and Gino Damari bounces into a 4-6-3 double play. The Hurricanes scored their only run on that double play ball, and that's the way it stayed, except for the Seminoles got an insurance run back in the bottom half of that inning. Lead at 5-1.
Garrett Blanton's playing in his 28th game. He's been a starter in right field for Mike Martin. You wonder if he's going to go into right field after this plate appearance. He's the only Seminole to claim he's perfect against Florida State. He has 1 hit in his only appearance against the Hurricanes last year.
Inside to him. You got to give Purdy some credit. He's really hung in there after a very rough, shaky start. He gave up 7 hits in the first 2 innings of this game, but he settled down. Garrett Blanton is a strikeout victim. Strikeout number 3 for Purdy.
Seminole shortstop Link Jarrett.
And here's Link Jarrett. Let's take a look at the breaking ball by Purdy. Really pulled the string on it. Blanton way out in front. Link Jarrett 1 for 3 in the game, had a single and scored a run back in the 2nd inning. Florida State has had every batter in the lineup tonight get a base hit except for Chris Roberts. Jarrett hits this one hard to right field. It's going to go missing in front of the wall. Jarrett's not going to hit a ball that hard many times. He got it out there pretty well on the warning track and right.
And he really gave it a ride, but chasing it down on the track, Donald Robinson was part of that defensive change that Ron Fraser made in the 7th inning, and Robinson chases it down. You wonder if Hernandez, at 5 feet 5 inches tall, would have been able to flag that thing down at the track, and he's still been in right field. Long line drive out, 2 away.
Now we've got pinch hitter Chris Brock at the plate. Mike Martin going to his bench a couple of times in this inning for Blanton and now Brock. You see his totals. 2 down, nobody on in front of him. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Chris Brock has also played right field for FSU this season, so you wonder if it's going to be Blanton or Brock moving to right field offensively in the top half of the 9th inning.
Ball and a strike. Now Brock is going to step out. You talk about settling down. In the first 5 innings of this game, Shawn Purdy threw 86 pitches. He's thrown just 17 pitches in the last 3 innings. So he's just a hair over 100 pitches for the ball game. I'll be honest, I really didn't think he'd be around here in the 8th inning when we saw the way this game started.
He faced 7 batters in the first and 5 more in the second as the Seminoles scored their 4 runs early. I think we're all shaking our heads, and Brad Kelly's been to the mound twice, the Hurricane pitching coach, but there has been no hook, and Purdy has really settled down. Worked up a little bit of a sweat out there on the hit.
Fly ball to right. On comes Robinson. He'll make the catch, and the Seminoles are down in order in the bottom of the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. 1 more mile to go for Florida State pitcher Roger Bailey to nail this one down. It's 5-1 Florida State.
For years, I've done some wild things in our commercials to let you know you'll always get the guaranteed best prices on Michelin tires at Tire Kingdom. You'll also find one of the biggest selections of long mileage Michelin tires anywhere, backed by Tire Kingdom's exclusive mileage guarantees. And at Tire Kingdom, you'll get the fastest service in town. We'll install your Michelin tires in 45 minutes or less, guaranteed. So for the best prices, great selection, guaranteed mileage, and the fastest service anywhere, come to Tire Kingdom.
This is the big time. Southwest Conference Baseball. Only the best play here. Not just nationally ranked teams, but stellar athletes. Fireballers on the hill. Sluggers in the box. Not to mention knock your socks off defense. Southwest Conference Baseball. Houston and Baylor live. Saturday afternoon at 2 Eastern on Prime Network.
Golfers, get ready for the opportunity of a lifetime. Golf Week on Prime Network gives you the chance to improve your game. Discover the inside story on the PGA Tour, the Seniors Tour, and the LPGA circuit. And see what your favorite pro is really like by talking to them directly.
Hi, I'm Ray Floyd. Hi, I'm Jody Mudd.
Hi, I'm Jane Geddes.
Golf Week.
Live from Augusta, Friday night at 11 Eastern on Prime Network.
Roger Bailey has lasted 8. He's going to try to make it yet another complete game. He has 2 complete games coming into tonight's showdown with the Hurricanes, and both of those complete games thrown by Bailey have been against top 25 ranked teams. South Carolina was ranked 24th when Bailey turned the complete game last weekend, and earlier this season he worked 9 full innings against 13th ranked Michigan. There you see Roger Bailey. We go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Hurricanes, and here's Wade.
Pinch hitter Jonathan Smith steps up to the plate and promptly hits the first pitch into center field. Hit number 6 off Bailey, and Ron Frazier goes to his bench and replaces Chris Pierce with Jonathan Smith. And he's got himself a leadoff single here in the 9th inning.
Well, Pierce had really been handcuffed by Bailey, and so Ron Frazier, playing the percentages, brings in Jonathan Smith, and he swings at the first pitch. Lines it up the middle for a base hit. The Hurricanes scored 5 runs to beat North Florida earlier this week. They were down 7-1. They're a good come-from-behind team, and they've had to do so on a couple of occasions here lately. Another pinch hitter, Juan Giannis, stands in.
Giannis takes the first pitch for a strike. So Ron Frazier now playing all his cards in the dugout. Giannis hitting .310 on the year. He's making his appearance in his 39th game of the season. Has a homer and 26 runs batted in. Bailey trying to nail down this complete game. We're in the 9th. Florida State up by 4 runs. Foul tip. The catcher hangs on. It's a strikeout. Giannis down on strikes. That's number 8 in the K column for Roger Bailey.
But Bailey still has enough of the arm. Breaking pitch. And Giannis went after it. Broke down and away from the right-handed swinging first baseman that was pinch hitting here in the 9th inning for Greg Coleman. And the Hurricanes are down to their final 2 outs here at Hauser Stadium. More baseball tomorrow and Sunday, though. This is going to be a super series. It always is.
Donald Robinson, a new right fielder for the Hurricanes, is the hitter. He's batting for the first time. Runner at first and 1 down. Seminoles middle infielders back at double play depth. It's been a fast-paced ball game tonight. Both pitchers pitching complete games. No pitching changes in this one. And they both pitch fairly quickly as well. That's made for a quick ball game. Seminoles have out-hit the Hurricanes 12-6. The Florida State team has committed 3 errors. Fortunately for the Seminoles, they did not come back to haunt. The only Miami run, by the way, is unearned. Scored in an inning in which the Seminoles committed 2 errors.
Barely really pulled the string there. That was his changeup. That just may be his best pitch in his repertoire. He's got that medium speed fastball. Pretty good breaking curveball, but his changeup really keeps opposing batters on track.
Runner's going to go for first, swing and a miss. Now they throw down, and he's safe down there. You know, they got the strikeout there, and Florida State had Perez playing behind the runner at first base. And Jonathan Smith said, hey, I'm not just going to stand down here at first. I'm going to try to make it to second. But I'll tell you this, if he'd been thrown out down at second, I don't think he would have wanted to come back to the dugout to face Ron Frazier.
That is his 6th stolen base of the season, and Grifol didn't miss him by much. Garrett had troubles handling the ball.
Really no percentage in trying to steal that base, to be honest with you. When you're down 4 runs, you're not going to do your team any more good at second than you would at first. But Smith, who probably doesn't get that many chances on the base pass.
Saw a couple of friends from Palatka, Florida in the coaching profession. The Palatka High School. Terry McCool, his friend Rusty Castleberry at the ballpark tonight. They're here for tomorrow's Garden Gold football game. No Campbell Stadium. Bobby Bowden's Seminole football team play that spring scrimmage tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, it's more Florida State University of Miami baseball here at Nicholson Stadium on Prime Network. Frank Mora's going to pinch hit. Boy, this is a guy that's had some hard luck this year, hurt in the 3rd game, broken leg, has just come back into action for the Hurricanes.
They have really missed him. I saw his batting average over 400 in limited play. And Mora has hit exactly 400 against Florida State pitching in his career. 8 for 20 as he stands in against FSU pitchers. Strike ball to him. 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, Gene, they had a very bad collision earlier in the year. And that was the play in which Mora broke his leg, but
he and Gino DeMari collided into each other in the 3rd game of the season.
2 balls and a strike. Smith's out at second, but the Hurricanes need a big inning. They trail by 4. Last chance at the plate in the person of Frank Mora. Luis Hernandez is due to hit next if Mora can keep it alive. And this one's looped into right field. He does keep it alive with a base hit. Run is going to score. Brock up with the ball and gets it back in, and it's a 5-2 game. Well, they don't quit, do they?
Well, since coming off of that injury, he saw his first action Tuesday night. He went 1 for 2 against North Florida. Now he is 2 for 3. Breaking his leg. And they'll insert a pinch runner for Mora.
And pinch running for Miami, number 33, Ryan Carp.
It's going to be Ryan Carp running it first.
Ryan Carp.
Ron Frazier, they call it Frazier ball in Miami, pulling out all the stops here. Trying to whittle away at a 5-2 Florida State lead now as Mora pinch hits and drives in a run. And narrow the gap. They scored 4 to beat North Florida on Tuesday in the 9th inning. Trying to do it here tonight. Hauser Stadium.
Well, here's Hernandez. He tried to bunt, popped it up, but it's going to drop just shy of the 3rd base coach's box. And again, Serrano having to run on that bad ankle. No balls and 1 strike to Hernandez. A .263 batter. He's 0 for 3 in this game.
Well, as you watch Serrano, obviously in pain, limp back to his position at 3rd base. Before, he was the surprise starter tonight, starting his 41st game as the Seminole 3rd baseman. They had Liebsack slated to start at 3rd base. You wonder if Serrano is going to be able to play all 3 games this weekend. When he is really hurting on that bum ankle.
The 0-1 is fouled away, and now Bailey is 1 strike away from giving Florida State the first game of this 3-game set. Better than 6,000 fans on their feet, cheering for the Florida State sophomore to nail this thing down. Clark, the pitch runners at first. And a no ball, 2-strike count to Hernandez. as you pointed out last time up, Hernandez just 5'5". You got to really get the ball down low to get one over against this guy. A 1-2. Three calls. Put this one in the win column for the Florida State Seminoles.
Bailey's got the big grin and he can smile and relax now. He goes the distance. A complete game, his third of the season. He strikes out 10, walks 1, scatters 7 base hits. And the Florida State Seminoles knocked off the Miami Hurricanes 5-2 in game 1 of his 3-game weekend series. Good college baseball game. Florida State 5, Miami 2.
Prime Network. All sports for all seasons.
If you weren't in the stands for Nolan Ryan's dramatic 6 no-hitter,
as he has thrown no-hitter number 6 against the Oakland A's,
his spine-tingling 5,000 strikeout,
He struck him out swinging.
and the history-making 300th win, now you can be with Nolan Ryan's official video history, Nolan Ryan Feel the Heat. Call 1-800-331-1003 for a box seat for the most spectacular moments in Nolan's career. You'll see highlights from his days with the Mets, Angels, Astros, and Rangers. You'll see big moments and celebrate the strikeouts that crown Nolan Ryan King of the K's. You'll visit Nolan at home, hear the master explain his techniques, and with a special Ryan Cam, feel the heat firsthand. Plus, with each purchase, receive a unique Nolan Ryan Feel the Heat t-shirt, absolutely free. Dial 1-800-331-1003 to order Nolan Ryan's official video history. $19.95 plus $4.50 shipping and handling. Call 1-800-331-1003 and climb aboard the Ryan Express.
Texas rivals collide on the diamond as the Cougars challenge the Bears in a Southwest Conference baseball clash. Houston and Baylor live Saturday afternoon at 2 Eastern on Prime Network.
Prime Network's presentation of college baseball has been brought to you by Mizuno, performance products for baseball and softball. By Diet Pepsi, the right one, baby. By the Olive Garden. Visit the Olive Garden Italian restaurant where all the best of Italy is yours. And by Easton Sports, the leading supplier of high-performance sports equipment. Dick Howser Stadium in Tallahassee has been the site of tonight's ball game between the second-ranked Florida State Seminoles and the third-ranked Miami Hurricanes. And you see the huge crowd of better than 6,000, the second largest crowd to ever see a ball game here at Dick Howser Stadium, filing out of the ballpark tonight. And it's a happy crowd indeed as Florida State has beaten Miami by a score of 5-2. Wayne Hogan along with Gene Deckerhoff. You see the totals. The Seminoles with 5 runs, 12 hits, and 3 errors. The Seminoles left 7 on. Miami 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Hurricanes left 7 on. Bailey the winner. He's now 7-1. Purdy got the loss. He drops to 5-2. Tomorrow night, Gene, the Seminoles and Hurricanes battle again.
Jose Prado it is, a freshman hurler out of Coral Gables, and you hear a lot about this kid in his career for the University of Miami. He is... We think tomorrow night when Florida State and Miami tangle for... Or is it going to be Jimmy Lewis?
I think it's Jimmy Lewis tomorrow night. We'll have more on that when we come back. Stay with us on the Prime Network.
Back when I played with the Orioles, I enjoyed being associated with baseball's best. I still do. That's why I'm signing a limited edition of these great baseball books from World of Baseball. And I'll be back in a minute to show you how to call for your own autographed copy.
It's 3-2, and it's him against you. It's the one and only. It's baseball. Enjoy all the greatness of your favorite game in an exceptional new library of fine books. World of Baseball.
You'll treasure each hardbound edition of this magnificent series as you travel from the early days to your latest heroes. You'll get the game from all angles as the world of baseball touches every base with memorable photography, fascinating stat graphics, and colorful writing that captures the game as never before. And you'll start right at home with the Sluggers. This first power-packed volume gives you a great look at the hitters through the ages, how they match up, their weapons, their swings, their secrets, their stats. From Cobb to Canseco, they all take their best cuts in the Sluggers. And by calling this toll-free number now, you can enjoy a free 10-day preview of this classic volume at no risk. If you don't agree the Sluggers is a hit, simply return it and pay nothing. Keep it and it's yours for the low introductory price of only $14.95. Other valuable collector's editions will follow every other month. You may cancel anytime. Satisfaction guaranteed. Each edition is a collector's dream, containing almost 200 pages with over 300 pictures and superlative writing that includes personal memories and lively anecdotes from the game's greatest. Call now and start with a free 10-day preview of The Sluggers at no obligation. It's a free look at the finest baseball library ever published.
If you love baseball, call now and lead off with a big hit, a free 10-day preview of The Sluggers. Keep it, and I'll send you a personally autographed collector's edition of The Fielders. There is only a limited edition of these autographed copies, so call now. I hope this one's for you or a friend of yours.
Florida State has beaten Miami by a score of 5-2 in the first game of this huge three-game college baseball series here at Dick Howser Stadium in Tallahassee. Same two teams again tomorrow night. In this ball game, Gene Deckerhoff, the Florida State team jumped out early. 2 runs in the first, 2 more in the second. It didn't look like Shawn Purdy was going to be long for this ball game, but he ends up pitching a complete game, settling down, but his team really couldn't do it with the bats.
Well, Purdy faced 12 batters in the first 2 frames when the Seminoles jumped out to a quick 4-0 lead. Take away those 2 first innings, and Miami wins 2-1 because it was a well-played baseball game the rest of the way. The only blemish on the ball game tonight were those 3 errors, 2 in 1 inning by Florida State, that enabled Miami to score an unearned run and make it 5-1. They scored a second run in the 9th inning on Mora's pinch hit RBI single, but that was it. 5-2. Bailey, the big stories, 10 strikeouts, only 1 walk. He scatters 7 hits.
College baseball tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon on Prime Network. The same 2 ball clubs will battle the rest of the weekend. You can bet Miami is going to come back with a vengeance after losing game 1. Your final score here tonight, Florida State 5 and Miami 2. Prime Network's coverage from Dick Howser Stadium has just about been completed, Gene, as Florida State has won over Miami, and certainly a ball game that we'll look forward to seeing more excellent action in the next 2 games between these 2 teams.
Well-played game. Neither team had to go to their bullpen. That means everybody's ready for tomorrow night's second game of this 3-game set T in Tallahassee. For Wayne Hogan, this is Gene Deckerhoff. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow night when the Seminoles take on the Hurricanes in round 2. Good night, everybody.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Upper Deck Presents Talking Baseball. I'm Ed Randall, so glad you could be with us. And joining us today, the founding father of Rotisserie League Baseball. This just out, it's the 5th edition. It's called Rotisserie League Baseball, the official rule book and draft day guide. And one of the founding fathers is Glenn Wagner. Glenn, it's glad to have you back on the show.
Oh, glad to be here.
Who's hot and who's not in 1991?
Oh, you're putting me under pressure so early. Well, I think you have some new players coming into baseball that are just really very exciting. American League, Frank Thomas, I think, is the next great impact player. He had a terrific beginning last year, a guy who comes up and shows all of the class and the control and the poise of a veteran, hits the thunder out of the ball, takes a lot of walks, wonderful fielder at first base. I'm really looking forward to watching Frank Thomas play this year.
And they have another young impact player on the mound named Alex Fernandez.
They do indeed. That team is going to be exciting again this year. A lot of fun to watch, I think.
Rotisserie League Baseball, and I know this has become for you practically a full-time job.
It's practically a full-time job this time of year, that's for sure. And it gives me sleepless nights because I have two things to do. I have to worry about the book and the game and the national impact of it, but I have to worry about my own teams. The Wagner Wheels and the Glen Wag Goners, they take up a lot of time themselves this time of year.
You're in 2 different leagues?
I play one American League and one National League version of the game.
What?
Have to, because if I don't, I won't know what's going on in the other league.
There are a number of leagues, I don't play, but there are a number of leagues I understand that just limit themselves to the American League.
Well, I think the idea of limiting yourself to one league makes you really understand and know that league. If you mix the two together, then you're drafting all-stars, and anybody can do that. The tough part is to know who's going to be the third man out of the Yankee bullpen, which is a frightful thought to contemplate.
Or to be the third man.
Or to be the third man in the Yankee bullpen. And you really have to be a better scout and better student of the game if you restrict your rotisserie play to one league or the other.
For those who did not see our show last year, please explain how Rotisserie League Baseball came to be.
Oh, it's very simple. A bunch of us 10 years ago, 10 years ago now, had pretty much given up the hope of ever being Major League Baseball players ourselves.
Not completely, though.
Not completely. You never give it up completely. And decided the next best thing was to own our own team. There was a little problem there. We were missing the $25 or $30 million that a team would have gone for back then. So we had to invent our own league. And essentially we did that. We created a league where with $260 or 260 Pokerobas, if you don't want to use real dollars, you acquire at an open auction 23 real live Major League Ball players.
Excuse me, you said Pokerobas? As in Biff Pokeroba?
As in the Biffer himself. We use that as a substitute for dollars if you don't want to play for money. So with your 260 Pokerobas, you buy 23 players at an auction. You follow these guys over the course of the season in 8 statistical categories. You trade, you wheel, you deal, you have reserve list, you have September roster expansion. You have everything that a big league ball team owner has except the headaches of dealing with the players union. And no agents either.
A perfect world.
Perfect world.
And for those who don't know, and of course we deal with a very smart audience here, but Biff Pokeroba was a very obscure catcher with the Atlanta Braves in the late 70s or the 80s, whatever.
Somewhere.
How did you come up with the $260 fee?
Pretty arbitrary. We started with 250 and 22 players and added an extra pitcher, so there's nothing really magical about it. It becomes simply a way of allocating your resources. Unlike the owners of real